Welcome to one of the most expensive places in the world, a microstate that only I could possibly dream of visiting as things currently stand, but hey, never say never, am I right? Welcome to the Principality of Monaco. We're here in Monte Carlo for round 3 of the SMortorsports Formula S World Championship, the Monaco Grand Prix. My name is Sebastian Cortez, and it is an honor to join you for one of the most prestigious automobile races in the world, alongside the Indy 500 and the 24 Hours of Le Mans, in this just over 2-mile street circuit, one of the most challenging that the world has ever seen. And there are some examples of that in real life. 2011, Lewis Hamilton's very close call there, as you just noticed, in Turn 1. Over in Turn 3, Max Verstappen, the 2-time Formula 1 world champion, yeah, even he had a shunt here in Monaco. And of course, who can forget 2021, Charles Leclerc, the Monaco local, who crashed out of qualifying but still secured pole position. Expect something bizarre to happen here today on the streets of Monaco with Formula S for sure. Before we race here in Monte Carlo, let me walk you through your starting grid. On the front row, on pole position, is a Monaco local in Ridwan. He hopes to do his home crowd proud. John Wagner will join him on the front row for Ferrari. In the second row, it's all Hyundai with an Indy 500 winner in Bree. She won the 2022 AMC Indy 500 and is looking for a second piece of that triple crown of motorsport. And her teammate Sergio Morales joins her in the second row. In row 3, it's Kayleen Pham joined by the right guy Hinchcliffe. In 7th and 8th will be Ricardo Bautista joined by Valery Paredes. And rounding out your top 10 in row 5 will be Naeimiyan and the winner in Las Vegas, Lizzy Salem. Next up in row number 6 is Diego Vazquez joined by Aidan Yoder. In 13th and 14th will be John Whitaker and John Fitzgerald, so it's both Johns in that 7th row. Tristan Tobin and Jimmy Spock will line up 15th and 16th respectively. Dylan Bautista and Luis Paredes will line up 17th and 18th. The winner last time out, Angel Morales, will line up alongside Min Kim in 19th and 20th, and Amelia Ann Fuchs and Brendan Flexman will round out your grid this afternoon. A final check of the tires and of the car itself for Angel Morales. Last time out in Australia, he was the race winner and hopes to make it 2 victories in a row here in Monaco. But up front though, Ridwan gets ready to lead the field of 22 into Turn 1. And it's lights out and away we go. As Ridwan gets a good start, John Wagner actually did not get such a good start. Ridwan will lead comfortably going into Turn 1 as Bree will actually make a move for second place against John Wagner. Up the hill we go for the first time of 7 laps that await these drivers today, as Wagner seems to start making up a little bit of ground here. And Ridwan's going to have to defend from Bree and from John Wagner as we see a bunch of commotion back here with Min Kim on board as we head into one of the tightest hairpins in motorsports, as we see a bit of contact, and now we have a bit of a pileup here, a bunch of cars unable to clear the turn. It looks like all of them will be okay to continue, however. Fortunately, nothing too severe to report there, so we will move forward. In 9th place with Naeimiyan, now 5th place with Sergio Morales, and he has lost a spot to Kayleen Pham, who's up to 4th. So let's ride on board with Ricardo Bautista for a moment, his teammate Min Kim at Aston Martin. This is a replay of the incident that he was involved in. It involved a lot of cars, including Luis Paredes, I can see, Angel Morales, Min Kim, and a Toyota. If I'm not wrong, that is Jimmy Spock who was involved in that as well. Amelia Ann Fuchs and Tristan Tobin were also involved in that incident. But fortunately, not one of them actually suffered severe damage. So they all should be okay to continue on in this race. So Kayleen Pham is currently running in 4th, and Sergio Morales tried to make a move, but she will defend her 4th place as of right now. And as we head into the hairpin for the first time, and Aidan Yoder, here we are on board with him now, as he tries to make a move against John Whitaker and Diego Vazquez. And if we go around the hairpin, and this time around, most of the grid so far will make it through cleanly, so nothing to report there this time, unlike that first lap, which involved that massive incident with a lot of cars. While we follow Aidan Yoder around, let's talk about him briefly. He made his Motorsports debut with the AMCI during Season 2. At the first race, the Circle K Grand Prix, he actually went on to win the race, and later on in the season, he would actually come home to Fontana and would win the AMCI Season 2 championship over there. So very good stuff from Aidan Yoder in the AMCI. He hopes to carry that experience into Formula S. Now we ride on board with John Wagner for Ferrari, as he's now currently running in 3rd place. And he has quite a bit of ground to make up to Bree if he is going to try and take 2nd place back. And especially 1st place, as he is just over 3 seconds ahead. And Ridwan, however, if you look at the top, he's just under a second ahead of Bree, so relatively speaking, he's actually enjoying quite a comfortable ride here. We are on board now with Bree, who's chasing down the Monegasque driver running his home race today. And Ridwan now 1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds ahead of Lee. Whatever he's doing, it surely is working for him, for Ridwan, as he continues to put some ground between himself and 2nd place. There we are on board with him now, and as you can see, Bree is nowhere in sight. So for him, it's just all about bringing it home, taking care of the car, getting home in one piece. And Tristan Tobin actually hits the wall. The 19 Mercedes of Tristan Tobin has hit the wall. He may have lost his front wing there. We'll have to check a replay of that and see what happened. Well, now Tristan Tobin is fine to continue, but he's got to hold off Min Kim. As we check a look at the replay of his incident, he missed the chicane right out of the tunnel, and it just sent him straight into the wall there. He's fine to continue clearly, because here we are seeing him in 21st place nonetheless, but he's still in this race, and he will not pit. So it looks like the damage, he just escaped that damage that was severe enough to send him back into pit lane. We'll have to see how he finishes this race, however, because there's only a few laps remaining. Meanwhile, up front, for 3rd place, John Wagner continues to chase after Bree, but again, there is just simply a lot of ground between himself and Lee. And as Kayleen Pham, actually, if you look here, and Sergio Morales as well, now the top 5 are actually at least 1 second apart from each other. So quite some distance being built here in the streets of Monaco. But for Ridwan, the more distance, the better, as he continues to lead and has the fastest lap of the race thus far. Meanwhile, here's John Whitaker currently running a comfortable 12th place, as Amelia and Fuchs further back is running in 19th place. Remember, she started in the very last row of the race, so she is making up some ground, going after Jimmy Spock, who's currently running in 18th place. Now let's hop on board with the Rye Guy, as he continues to chase after Valery Paredes. Currently, the Rye Guy runs in 9th, as Valery goes in 8th place as things currently stand. But there is enough ground between these two where Rye Guy could actually make a move, but he should probably hurry up. Here's Lizzy Salem, and she has a handful of Rye Guy Hinchcliffe's car right in front of her. So any of these three could actually make quite the move here. Although knowing the streets of Monaco, that would be quite risky. This is one of the tightest racetracks in the world. In fact, I don't know if anyone knew this, but if the streets of Monaco were to be added to the Grand Prix calendar today, it actually would not have been allowed. The only reason it continues to be there is because of its historical significance. But that's why it's so important to keep this race on the calendar, despite how boring it can be sometimes. Here's Tina Naeimiyan making a move on Ricardo Bautista. She will not get there just yet. Ricardo continuing a very strong defense against Tina here, but she's now using DRS to her advantage. We'll see if she can make it work. Going into turn 1. Not quite yet. As they go up the hill, Ricardo continues to have a very strong defense. Currently running in 6th place as Tina runs in 7th. Time is running out for these drivers to start making moves as we enter the 6th of 7 laps here today. As Tina goes down the outside, she's going to try. She's not quite going to get there. And into the hairpin, and out of the hairpin, Ricardo continues to hold 6th place. So Tina having to be a little bit more of a daredevil if she's going to try and take 6th place away from Ricardo. Meanwhile, I think this is the battle we all want to see, if it's even a battle at all. It's more so a game of stay away from the walls for Ridwan, as here we are on board with John Wagner, who is now 6 seconds behind, or excuse me, 5 seconds, sorry about that, behind Ridwan, and roughly 2 seconds behind Bree in 2nd. So where is Ridwan, I hear you ask? He is now taking the white flag. 7 of 7 laps. We are now in the 7th lap here in the streets of Monaco, and for Ridwan, as I mentioned, it's a game of stay away from the walls at all costs. As here we are on board with the 42. 2nd place is not even visible as things currently stand. And here we are with Bree, who's currently running in 2nd place. Remember, she has won an Indy 500 in the AMCI. she is looking for that second piece of the Motorsports Triple Crown, as Naeimiyan is still trying to get to Ricardo for 6th. And now they're side by side, but Ricardo with the inside lane into the hairpin, he does keep 6th place, and Tina's going to have to continue fighting up until the checkered flag here. Here we're on board with her as they go down the tunnel one last time today. Tina is actually losing a bit of ground here, but Ridwan, he's gaining even more ground between himself and Bree. So he's just got a few more corners to go, and he will be the winner of his home race. Coming around the last few corners for the last time today, we'll see if Charles Leclerc can do the same thing that Ridwan is doing here in real life. But for now, Ridwan wins the Monaco Grand Prix, his home race, as Bree comes home in 2nd place. 4 seconds behind, John Wagner comes home in 3rd, 6 seconds behind, and the rest of the top 5 is as shown. The rest of the grid comes around to complete the race today. All 22 cars will make it home in one piece, despite some incidents in turn 1, and Tristan Tobin, who had that incident mid-race, is going to try and get Angel Morales here for 20th place, but it looks like it won't be enough. Tristan Tobin will have to settle for 21st, as Angel Morales will actually... I thought there was a move going on there, but not quite. After a relatively tranquil race here in the streets of Monaco, Ridwan comes home victorious, and I mean that literally. The Monegasque driver wins his home race, staying ahead of Bree and John Wagner, who will complete your podium. Well done, Ridwan. You beat Charles Leclerc to it. That's kind of sad to say out loud, honestly. Kayleen Pham and Sergio Morales will round out your top 5. Ricardo Bautista holds off Naeimiyan for 6th, who has to settle for 7th. Valery Paredes 8th. Ryguy Hinchcliffe 9th, and Lizzy Salem will round out your top 10. So as we go through the rest of the results, we see both Johns 11th and 12th, Fitzgerald and Whitaker respectively. Diego Vazquez in 13th, Dylan Bautista 14th, and Aidan Yoder finishes in 15th. And we see the rest of the results right over here. Angel Morales actually finished in 20th place, which is a stark contrast to his victory in Australia last time out. So now let's talk championship standings. With his victory today, Ridwan is actually your new championship leader, and he's got quite the gap between himself and Angel Morales. Angel and Sergio, the Morales brothers, have 1 point separating them in 2nd and 3rd place. Lizzy Salem and Valery Paredes round out your top 5 in the standings, leaving Monaco. As we see the rest of the championship results so far, as we go, there's a 3-way tie for 12, 10 points between Naeimiyan, Ryguy Hinchcliffe, and Brendan Flexman. All 3 of those drivers have 10 points. We'll see how that tie breaks up next time out. And we see the rest of the championship results as shown. 19 out of 22 drivers so far have scored points. We'll see if Fitzgerald, Min Kim, and Spock will be able to score points next time out. Well, that does it today here in the streets of Monaco. Thank you all for joining us today, and congratulations Ridwan on your hometown victory. Next time out, Formula S heads to an AMCI favorite and a Formula 1 favorite, and a worldwide favorite at that, at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. We'll see you all over there then for the Formula S Throttle House Grand Prix of Canada. Until then, be kind. I will see you all at the next event.